The story starts in New Hampshire in the late 1930s. Patrick MacDonald loses his job at a shoe factory after 42 full years, and in order to make ends meet, he moves to Hollywood with his two sons, Richard and Maurice MacDonald. The two brothers, seeing all these family difficulties, swear that they will not go through the same. They are determined to get rich up to 50. Patrick at the time ran a canteen which initially sold hot dog and later burgers. In 1940, his two sons took over the canteen, upgraded it to a restaurant, and because most of the items in the menu are current, they call it McDonald's Barbecue. But it is not a fast food restaurant. It is a classic drive-in restaurant of the time. But in 1947, the McDonald's Barbecue and consequently the global focus will change forever. The two brothers notice that the most sales are not made from grilled food, but from burgers, and so they decide to completely transform the operating model of the store. They close the McDonald's Barbecue and opens a self-service restaurant in each place. At the same time, they redesign their kitchen. Thanks to this, the service time drops from 30 minutes per customer to 30 seconds per customer. We're talking about a productivity increase of 6,000%. But in focus, any reduction of production time by itself is useless. In order not to end up with all these burgers in the trash, you must either take them out, which is impossible, or to reduce the consumption time accordingly. In other words, you need to increase the flow of your customers, find ways to drive people out of the store as quickly as possible. And the McDonald's brothers do just that. Sometimes using unorthodox tactics. For example, they design their chairs with such a curve that it makes customers sit just above their foot. They place these chairs at an awkward distance from each other so they cannot sit for hours with their friends there. Soft drinks are served in a cone that forces customers to hold it with one hand while eating with the other. In 1993, the first McCafe opens in Melbourne, and by 2001, they have acquired Donato's Pizza, Aroma Cafe, Boston Market, and the huge British sandwich chain Père Moselle. Somewhere Here makes its first appearance, the longest-running slogan of the company, in 2003. The McDonald's make an advertising concert involving 14 marketing companies from around the world. The final winner is the German company Hein Partner, with the slogan Ich liebe es. The slogan is finally sung in English. I'm loving it. The most interesting of all is that McDonald's today looks more like a real estate agency than a fast food restaurant. Let's take it from the beginning. Let's say that the company wants to open a restaurant somewhere in the world. Initially, its choice of the location is made with very strict rules. For example, it must be built at a crossroad. He goes to the plot and does not rent it, buys the whole plot, then builds the store. Then comes someone who wants to run the store, who signs an agreement to run the store. So, the individual pays the rent every month and some copyrights, and in return wins the entire turnover of the store. So, if for 3 months the store does not do well, the company has no effects, because every month it receives the money from the rent and the copyright. In the worst case, he changes the franchise manager, and in an even worse situation, he closes the store and sells out the land he has bought from the beginning. Thanks to this, McDonald's today has assets of $52 billion, and the 64% of them are rental profits, and another 35% of them are copyrights, which means that 99% of McDonald's revenue is purely passive income. McDonald's future is bright, and the whole world knows that for sure. The McDonald's brothers do just the... Εδώ είμαι κέντρο και είναι καλά το κεφάλι μου.
Ναι, μια χαρά είσαι. The most interesting of all is that McDonald's today looks more like a real estate
Initially.
It strict rules, for example, it must be built. Τι κάνω?
The most interesting of all is that McDonald's today looks like a more... Thanks to this... Thanks to this, McDonald's future is bright and the whole world knows that for sure.
Όχι for sure. For sure.
For sure.
Ήθελες for sure.
Όχι αυτό είναι.
Όχι.
Μην μιλάς.